Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps. Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps, also known as Spirit, is a world-class competitive drum and bugle corps. Based in Atlanta, Georgia, Spirit of Atlanta is a member corps of Drum Corps International (DCI). History. Sources. Founding. In 1976, Freddie and Linda Martin and Bob Hohen met with the management of an Atlanta area television station to discuss starting an Atlanta area drum and bugle corps. See note. After a series of successful meetings, Spirit of Atlanta was founded. The corps was originally named Concourse. A contest was held to find a new, more appropriate name, and Spirit of Atlanta was chosen. The corps was a DCI first in that it was sponsored by television station WZIA, making it the first corporate-sponsored drum corps. The founding director of the corps is Mr. Freddie Martin. Note, the television station management had the idea of starting new corps across the country, with a corps in every city where the Atlanta station had sister stations. Such was never to happen, and the station sponsored Spirit for only 4 years. 1970s. With Freddie Martin as corps director, members were recruited. A program with no particular musical style was worked up, and Spirit of Atlanta was introduced to the drum corps public at contests in at least 9 states in the South and Midwest. The 1977 DCI World Championships in Denver, Spirit finished 23rd of 45 corps. A first-year finish of 23rd was respectable, but Spirit of Atlanta wanted more, and an effort was made to secure the finest instructional staff possible. 2 new caption heads were hired: brass head Jim Ott from the DCI champion Blue Devils and percussion head Tom Float from Toronto's Oakland Crusaders, a corps renowned for their drumming. With these 2 hires, along with Dave Bandy writing the drill, Russell Stanton teaching marching technique and cleaning, Patty Williams teaching flags, and Margaret Ott teaching rifles, the corps instructional group was in place, which would take the corps to new heights. Adopting a style that has been referred to as Southern Jazz, Spirit stunned the drum corps world in 1978. Both the brass and percussion were among the best in the drum corps activity, and Spirit moved up into a 4th-place finish at DCI in Birmingham, Alabama in 1979, featuring the song that would become the corps trademark tune, Georgia on My Mind. 1980s. Tragedy struck Spirit while the corps was on tour in 1980, when one of their vans was in a traffic accident on Interstate 55 near Grenada, Mississippi. Brass arranger and caption head Jim Ott was killed. Spirit's members and staff were devastated, but the corps recovered to honor Ott's memory by repeating their 4th-place finish at DCI Finals in Birmingham, Al. In 1980, the percussion line had the high execution score at Finals and tied for the overall high percussion title. Prior to the 1981 season, the corps lost its corporate sponsorship from WZIA. Financial adjustments were made and the corps continued on. Following the loss of Jim Ott in the 1980 season, new staff members were needed to fill the vacancies. For the summer of 1981, the drill designer was Steve Moore. Horn caption heads included Gary Markham and Joel Schultz. Visual designers were Freddie Martin and John Armstrong. The guard instructors brought in the varied talents of Julie Gilbert of the Crossmen, Cindy Anderson of the Guardsmen, and Robert S. Robinson of Jacksonville State University and Chapter V Winter Guard. Tom Float remained percussion caption head, and Mike Back, who was a percussion instructor in 1980, returned to the staff. Spirit of Atlanta repeated the musical program of the 1980 season in 1981, with the exception of the concert number, hoping for higher levels of competitive success. This was not to be the case, as the corps finished in 9th place in 1981. The percussion was the highest scoring caption for the year. Tom Float departed at the end of the 1981 season. At the end of 1982, the Corps finished 12th place with the Guard ranked 11th in their caption at DCI finals. After 2 disappointing years competitively in 1983, the Corps rallied to a 7th place finish behind the new visual staff of Sal Salas, Scott Chandler, and Tam Easterwood, along with longtime marching instructor Brad Caraway. In 1984, the Spirit drumline under Mike Back made a run at the high percussion title as they were the host corps for the 1984 World Championships. The 1985 Corps saw Tam Easterwood and Scott Chandler's color guard win the Guard Trophy, a feat they would repeat in 1987. In 1986, the 10th competitive season of the Corps, the throwback show of Southern blues, jazz and gospel earned them a 6th place finish and an all-time high score for Spirit of Atlanta of 94, won at the DCI Championships. In 1988, after a disappointing competitive end to the 1987 season, a decision was made to turn away from jazz and blues to the classical idiom. Although the Corps competitive placement improved from 10th to 9th place and scored in the 92s just weeks prior to finals, the classical show based on Stravinsky's Petrushka was panned by drum corps fans used to the high-powered brass and exciting shows for which Spirit had become known. In 1989, Spirit dropped from finals for the first time since 1978. 1990s. In 1990, Spirit of Atlanta regained finalist status, but their success would not last long. Financial and management challenges plagued the Corps. From 1991-1993, the Corps competitive status declined. The financial problems culminated leading into the 1994 season, when the Corps announced it would be inactive that summer. The Corps returned to the field in 1995 and began a long rebuilding process. These years would prove challenging, but saw some increased success as the Corps progressed from 23rd place in 1996 to a regained semi-finalist status in 1997 and peaking at 14th place in 1998. The Corps changed uniforms along the way to a navy blue top with cream pants. Financial challenges would continue to hound the Corps leading into the 2000 season, which saw a midsummer management turnover and a difficult touring year. Nonetheless, the Corps finished 15th, and a majority of the membership from that season would continue with the Corps over the next 4 years. 2000s. In 2000, while the Corps was rehearsing at JSU just prior to the start of tour, the Corps director attempted to fold the drum corps. Due to a very strong response by Corps alumni, parents, staff, and other members of the drum corps community, Spirit of Atlanta got through the season, finishing in 15th place at DCI finals in College Park, Maryland. Following the management challenges of the 2000 season, Spirit of Atlanta reorganized in preparation for the summer of 2001. It officially relocated to Jacksonville, Alabama, and officially became known as Spirit from Jacksonville State University. This relationship with the university provided a foundation of stability the Corps had not experienced for more than a decade. The 2001 season saw a significantly more competitive drum corps finishing in 13th place while wearing baby blue uniforms again. In 2002, Spirit regained finalist status for the first time since 1990, finishing 10th overall, the highest placement since 1988. Spirit of JSU would make DCI finals again in 2003 and 5-7. Going into the 2008 season, the association with Jacksonville State University was essentially dissolved, resulting in a simplification of the Corps name to Spirit Drum and Bugle Corps from Jacksonville, AL. The Corps continued to operate out of Jacksonville, AL for the 2009 season. 2010s and return to Atlanta. In 2010, the Corps surprised the drum corps community by announcing its return to Atlanta. After the 2010 season, it was announced by the Corps Board of Directors that for the 2011 season, the Corps would once again be known as Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps. Spirit of Atlanta surged back into finals again in 2011, jumping from 16th place the preceding season to 12th at DCI Finals. Sponsorship. The Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps is sponsored by Friends of Spirit, Inc., a nonprofit 501(c) organization that has a board of directors, corps director, and staff assigned to carry out the organization's mission. The board president is George Dickinson, and the corps director is Chris Moore. Show summary 1977-2021. Source: Gold background indicates DCI Championship. Caption: Awards. At the annual World Championship Finals, Drum Corps International DCI presents awards to the Corps with the high average scores from prelims, semifinals, and finals in 5 captions. Prior to 2000 and the adoption of the current scoring format, Spirit of Atlanta won these captions. High Color Guard Award. 1985-1987. Hall of Fame. Source: in 2016, Spirit of Atlanta created a Hall of Fame to honor their most important contributors throughout the Corps history. Founder Freddie Martin, along with his wife and longtime Corps Administrator Linda Martin, were the inaugural inductees into the Hall. In 2017, 4 honorees were inducted into the Hall as the first elected class. Hall of Fame members. Traditions. The Corps performs the song Georgia throughout the season as a Corps song for retreats, encores, and other events. Deltas/Delta ceremony. The Corps has a tradition that goes back to its beginnings of members wearing deltas as pendants around their necks. The tradition was started by the percussion section, who would make deltas out of pieces of field cymbals that had broken. The tradition grew over the years until other members of the Corps would request deltas. In recent years, the Corps has made a tradition of presenting deltas to all members of the Corps, now made/stamped in silver with an imprint of the year the member marched. It is now a tradition that alumni present their deltas to current marching members during the Delta ceremony, which occurs the weekend of the Atlanta Regional. It is one way for alumni to connect with Corps and its current marching members each season.